So this video is going to remove the anxiety that you may be feeling at the moment, no matter how intense that anxiety might be. In fact, the technique that I'm going to teach you is extremely powerful. So make sure you save this video and come back to it anytime you need it. And before I teach you that technique, first let's just talk about what anxiety really is and where it comes from. You see, anxiety comes from a thought about your future and anticipating that something negative, something bad, something that you do not want is going to occur. And I remember vividly when I suffered from massive chronic anxiety. And at that time, I was a 7th grade history teacher. I was broke. I was stressed out. I was struggling. It was one of the most difficult times of my life. And I remember talking to God and I'm like, God, you gave me a vision for my life. I saw it. I saw the vision you had for me, but this is not it. I can't afford to do anything that I want to do for my family. We can't travel. Like, we can't go and enjoy ourselves. I'm barely paying the rent. I'm behind on that. I'm going to go get payday loans. Like, this is not it. And as I thought about that, and I thought that my future would continuously be the same way that my present was, it made me anxious. But it didn't just stop with a thought. That thought turned into a feeling. You see, anxiety shows up in the body too. So what would happen for me is my chest would get tight. I start breathing fast. My arm would go numb and I'm like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. I go to the hospital, hey, I'm having a heart attack. They would do all types of tests on me and be like, dude, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm fine? Like, man, something is wrong. Like, check again. And I'd be like, bruh, nothing is wrong with you. You're fine. And I couldn't understand it at the time. I would talk to my family about it. And all people told me were, you're fine. You're okay. And if I'm honest, that pissed me off to the max. And it made me kind of hide. And that's what anxiety does to you. So it starts as a thought. It manifests as a feeling. And as a result of those feelings, it causes you to do something or to not do something. It ruins your life. But fortunately, you don't have to deal with anxiety forever. Now, I'm not a doctor or a pharmacist or any of those things, right? But I'm just telling you what has worked for me. So this is the technique that you want to do. The first thing that you want to do is close your eyes. And I want you to take slow, deep breaths. All right? So you're going to breathe in. Hold it for 4 seconds. And then you're going to breathe out. And you want to keep doing that. And the reason why you want to do that is because it's going to relax your nervous system. All right? So there's something called sympathetic breathing, which is when you're in fight or flight, bro. Like something is chasing after you. You're trying to survive. All right? That's our body's automatic defense mechanism when something is going wrong and we need to go to safety. So we want to go from sympathetic breathing to parasympathetic breathing, relaxing. Breathe in, hold it. Tell yourself, I'm okay. Everything's okay. And when you do that in the moment, your anxiety will go from a 10 down to something lower. All right? 7, 8. And then once you feel a little bit more relaxed, I want you to work through this framework that I'm about to share with you. All right? Like, we have to meet our thoughts with understanding. Science shows that we think like 60,000 thoughts a day. You can't stop your mind from thinking about something, but you can stop it from grabbing hold to a thought and ruminating on it, right? You don't have to do that. You can think it and release it. So the first thing you're going to write is, what am I anxious about? And be specific. So remember, all anxiety stems from a thought. What is the thought that you're thinking about that's causing you to be anxious? And for me, it was like, man, I'm going to be broke, struggling, stressed out, and anxious for the rest of my life. All right? So whatever that is for you, write that. The second thing that you want to write is rate how strong that emotion is in the moment. So for me, in those moments, it was like a 10. All right? And you want to rate it from 1 to 10. So 1 being like, I think about it, but it doesn't bother me. And a 10 would be like, man, I'm having a panic attack. All right. So in my situation, it was a 10. I went in full-blown panic mode. So rate it. The next thing that you want to do is write down 10 benefits of that anxiety actually happening. I'm going to say that again, just in case you missed it. Write down 10 benefits of that anxiety, the thing that you're anxious about, actually happening. Now you might think like, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? In my situation, I'm anxious because I believe I'm going to be stressed, broke, and struggling for the rest of my life. There is no benefit to that. Well, my friend, that's not how life works. All right. You see, there's this principle called polarity, which means that nothing in this world is one-sided. Everything has two sides. All right. So you got hot and you got cold. You have up, you have down. You have in, you have out. You have, I think you got the point. All right. So everything has polarity in it, which means that every situation that you've experienced in your life that you say, this is bad, it is equally as good. And everything that you say, man, this is great, this is amazing, it's equally as bad. They both exist at the very same time. But the one you see, the one you feel, the one you experience is the one you choose to focus on. So you want to write down the benefits of that anxiety actually happening. All right. And then after you've done that, I want you to write down 10 drawbacks of that anxiety not happening. All right. So for me, from being stressed out about money, struggling, and anxiety forever, what's the opposite of that? Well, it's feeling calm, having an abundance of money, being able to do exactly what I want to do. What are the drawbacks of that? Remember, everything has a negative and a positive. Nothing is concrete. So what negative things could come as a result of you having unlimited resources, unlimited peace? Write it down. And then the next question you want to move to is, what are 5 things that I can do right now to prevent this anxiety, the thing that I'm anxious about, from happening? All right, we got to shift our focus to action. What can I do to avoid this? All right. And then once you get clear on that, I want you to say, what is the one thing that I can do right now to get this process started? And you write that down. And after you've done that, you should have seen, like from a 30,000 foot view, the thing that you're anxious about really isn't that big. It's just the thought that you accepted as true without investigating it. So after you've done that, I want you to go back to the scale and rate the emotion that you feel around the anxiety. From 1 to 10, what is it right now? And if you've done this right and you've really put in the effort with this, it should have went from whatever you put in the beginning, whether it's a 10, 9, 8, to something that's lower. And the last question you want to put is, how can you be grateful for this thing that you're anxious about? Gratitude is your unfair advantage. It is your secret weapon for productivity, for success, for power, for purpose, for prosperity. Gratitude is the key. So how can you be grateful for this? You see, the things that scare you, the things you're anxious about, the things you're afraid of, are a clear indicator of what you need to do to move forward in your life. And now that you see throughout this process, you got some things that you actually can do, well, then you get up and you go do it. And as a result of that, you grow from that anxiety. And then this becomes a process that never ends. So this is a simple technique to overcome and eliminate your anxiety. It absolutely changed my life. I don't have to take the medicine anymore. I don't deal with that crap anymore. And now it's because of this process that I've been set free. And if you implement this as well, I know it'll work for you as well. All right. So if you found this video useful, I want you to drop a comment below this thing, share it, make sure you subscribe. All right. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.